Hello and welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick Bears Soccer. I'm Scott White alongside Gordy Deal for today's Group 4 State Sectional Semifinals. East Brunswick today plays Middletown South, an opponent that East Brunswick hasn't seen yet this year. Gordy, what can we expect to see from Middletown South?
Well, Scott, Middletown South, a team that plays in the Shore Conference, the A North. They finished second there this season. It's a team we'll see a lot of short passing from. They play a very good defense. Not a lot of scoring in their 16 games this year, just 29 goals for, and they've given up 17. So they have problems scoring at times. But the same goes for East Brunswick. While they can score a lot of goals, they haven't been finishing their chances lately. They need to take a lot of shots this afternoon. They need to test the goalie because Middletown South, only with 3 seniors in the starting lineup, is not a very experienced squad. But again, they're well-tested. They're battle-tested all season long with the schedule they play. So it'll be all about today. East Brunswick putting behind the loss in the GMC tournament final, a 1-0 disappointment to Monroe. They'll have to just get rid of all that today and concentrate on finishing their chances. That's been their downfall, and I guess the knock against them this season.
Okay, so we have East Brunswick coming in at 15-3 and Middletown South at 11-4-1. We'll be back with the kickoff in just a moment. And welcome back. East Brunswick now in the huddle, as you see on the field, getting ready to kick off this game. On the far side of the field, Middletown South, as they come onto the field. It's a good opportunity for us to run down the starting lineups. For East Brunswick in the net, starting out tonight, Ben Kartzman. The outside marking backs for East Brunswick, Mitchell Brown and Dan Meckelberg. The sweeper for East Brunswick, Justin Smutko, and the stopper, Lewis Kimmel. At the midfield, we have Forma, Slater, and Longo. And up front, we have Joe Condurso, Dan Guriello, and Mattia Buffalino. On the far side of the field for Middletown South, up front for Middletown South, Scott Milivoy and Rob Wild will play with the 2 strikers going up front. Mike Fry, Phil Minona, Scott Carrington, and Neil Forand will play the 4 midfield slots. Mike DeQuapa, Joe DeGennaro, Jeremy Gregoli, and Eric Siegel, the defenders, and Adrian Mendez in the net. East Brunswick getting set to take the kickoff. East Brunswick in their home white jerseys with green trim, moving from left to right on your screen. Middletown South in their away blue jerseys with white trim and white letters, moving from right to left on your screen. 40 minutes on the clock, and the referees are getting ready for the kickoff.
Well, Scott, will be East Brunswick's 4-3-3 against Middletown South's 4-4-2. Now, Middletown South has not scored a lot of goals this season. However, East Brunswick has given up more than they normally do. We'll see what gives.
In control, near side Longo for East Brunswick. Longo sends down the line, quick touch pass from Meckelberg to the middle. Now in control for East Brunswick, Dan Guriello. Guriello drops back, unable to control, maintaining control for Middletown South, Scott Carrington. Carrington can't hold on to it. East Brunswick stepping up. Ho stepping over the ball. He can't control it. Now for Middletown South, near side. That ball will roll out of bounds. It'll be a Middletown South throw-in. For the throw-in, Rob Weil on the near side, about 40 yards off the end line. Weil throws into Carrington. He's unable to control. East Brunswick turns it around quickly, sending it upfield is Jared Forma. Forma looks far side, unable to find a man. Stealing the ball is Phil Mignona. Mignona sends it down the line, streaking down the line, Jeremy Gregoli. Gregoli will make a cross, long service into the box, into the hands of Kartzman. No one there to take a shot on goal for Middletown South.
Scott, one of the things Middletown South is going to have to be concerned with, again, they get the ball wide on the wing, but with only 2 players up front, they're outnumbered in the back by 2 players against East Brunswick's defense. So they're going to have to continue the short passing game they normally play and try to work it across the field and look for the overlap when they start looking to get the cross off.
Scott Milivoy far side with the throw-in, 30 yards off the end line. He'll send it in to Phil Mignona. Mignona unable to control that ball, roll out of bounds. East Brunswick throw-in. Middle third of the field, quickly into play. Long service into the box. No East Brunswick player moving. That ball will be picked up by the keeper for Middletown South, Adrian Mendez. Mendez waits for the box to clear out. Mendez with the punt over the midfield line by a good 15 yards off the head of an East Brunswick midfielder. Drops it to the feet of Jared Forma. Forma looks back on the near side, trying to find Dan Meckelberg. Meckelberg unable to control, stepping up to steal it from him is Scott Milivoy. That'll be out of bounds. East Brunswick throwing.
This is the type of game, Scott, state tournament time. Each season or each game becomes a season within itself now. At this point of the season, it's a do-or-die situation. You win, you go on. You lose, you go home. And it's important now that everybody sort of get a touch on the ball. Everybody needs to make a tackle or have some kind of collision to get themselves involved in the game. East Brunswick and Middletown South battling right now, but there's no real continuity in the game. Everybody just sort of still getting their feet wet in the early moments here.
Each team trying to establish a pace as East Brunswick now controls in the middle of the field for East Brunswick. Rob Longo. Longo sends up far side. It controls center of the field. No one there for East Brunswick. Quickly cleared out by Middletown South. That ball will roll over the touchline, far side, about 30 yards off the end line. 37-27 remaining in the first half. East Brunswick and Middletown South scoreless. East Brunswick in the corner, trying to turn for East Brunswick, unable to do so. That ball will roll out of bounds. East Brunswick throwing quickly into Ho. Ho with an opportunity on the far side of the 18-yard line. Cleared out by Middletown South, controlled for Middletown South. Making a run on the far side for Middletown South, Jeremy Grigoli. Grigoli unable to control. East Brunswick will send it back into the offensive third. East Brunswick, no one there to control. Rob Weil cleared out, not finding a man, just sending it into open space. East Brunswick stepping up and pulling it down. For East Brunswick now controlling Jared Forma. Forma struggling on the near side. He's unable to control. Middletown South will step up and steal it. Middletown South streaks down the near sideline. The referee will blow that one out of bounds at about the center stripe.
Again, Middletown South trying to find itself a little bit with two players up front. They're going to need to play more of a control game, and I think they're still getting used to the fact that the field here at J. Doyle Field slopes down a little bit to help the water drain off, so they've got to take control of the passes.
Ho in control, quick one touch looking for Slater. Slater's not there, back to Ho. Ho sends a long service in front of the box. No one's there to knock it in. East Brunswick chases it into the corner. That ball will roll out of bounds.
East Brunswick got away with an offsides that time, but again, they've got to take the chances they did. You've got to shoot early, test the goalkeeper early as long as you have the opportunity, and that's what East Brunswick trying to do there.
Phil Mignone will throw it in. He finds the feet of Scott Carrington. Carrington back to Mignone. Mignone will send it up. Middletown South now control far side. A short overlap pass, breaking it up for East Brunswick that time is Ho. That ball will roll out of bounds. The referee signaling it a East Brunswick throw-in, so East Brunswick with the throw-in far side. Quick throw-in into the corner. Left-footed cross, looking for an East Brunswick attacker in there, but no one's there. Cleared out by Neil Forend. Ball will be out of bounds. Far side touchline, East Brunswick throw-in. Going over to take the throw-in, Jared Forma. Forma now with an opportunity. Four East Brunswick players in the box. That ball will roll off the head of Neil Forend and out of the box. East Brunswick now tries to control it far side. The referee signaling a trip against Middletown South. So East Brunswick now with a restart opportunity with 35 minutes remaining in the first half.
And Middletown South playing very conservative on defense. They've got everybody inside the penalty box with the exception of one player.
East Brunswick now with an opportunity just outside the 18 service into the box, looking for a header from East Brunswick, stepping up Forma to knock it in. He's unable to make a shot on goal. That'll be cleared out by Middletown South. No one upfield for them. Now coming up for Middletown South, Scott Millivoy. Millivoy unable to control near side. East Brunswick's Mitch Brown steps up and he'll clear it down the field, looking for the East Brunswick attacker on this near side. Middletown South now trying to put together a full triangle, unable to do so. East Brunswick breaking it up. Forma in control, about 45 yards off the end line. He'll send into the corner, this time Slater. Slater with an opportunity, keeper's out of the goal, and a shot on goal. No opportunity. That ball cleared out by the Middletown South defender. Rob Longo with an opportunity, but unable to knock it in, an open goal for East Brunswick.
Goriello was there. He made a nice sliding effort. That was about all he could do because he was a step behind the defender, but a good job by Middletown South to survive that rush by East Brunswick.
Conderso tries turning a shot. He's unable to do so. That ball will go over the end line, so it's a goal kick for Middletown South. 34 minutes remaining in the first half. East Brunswick and Middletown South scoreless. Taking the goal kick for Middletown South, Adrian Mendez, the goalkeeper. Mendez will send that one right to the feet of Greg Slater. Slater with a little problem controlling it. Stepping up to take it is Rob Weil. Weil sends a long ball upfield, not finding any players there. Weil with it again. That ball will roll off of Middletown South player. Middletown South looking upfield to send it. Can't find anyone. East Brunswick will control it. East Brunswick on the near side, controlling for East Brunswick now, Dan Meckelberg. Meckelberg will send it down the line, looking for a running Conderso. Conderso with a one-on-one opportunity. He's unable to control it. Ball will be tapped out of bounds. East Brunswick with the throw-in. East Brunswick drops that ball in. With the throw in that time for East Brunswick is Conderso. Conderso in the corner now, and a left-footed opportunity. Left-footed cross into the box. No one there for it. Cleared out by Middletown South. Waiting for East Brunswick. Meckelberg sends it back into the box. Cleared out by Middletown South. Middletown South will send the ball over the middle stripe, and now with an opportunity for South is Jeremy Grigoli, but he can't control it. East Brunswick on the far side. For East Brunswick, it's Rob Longo. Ball will roll out of bounds. There'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick. About 45 yards off the touchline, the offensive half of the field. The referee calling a push, I believe it is, against Middletown South. So East Brunswick with their second restart opportunity of the afternoon from about 40 yards off the touchline far side. Service into the box, looking for the head of an East Brunswick attacker. That ball will roll over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for South.
Good job that time by Greg Slater to get ahead on that ball. He made a nice redirection and just a near miss opportunity for Slater. Good job by East Brunswick.
Mendez with his second goal kick in about as many minutes. No score, as we said, East Brunswick and Middletown South. He'll move that ball over to the center of the 6-yard line. Mendez will send that one about 30 yards, looking for, finds the head of Dan Gurriello. Gurriello sends it looking for another player. Now Gurriello trying to control middle of the field, unable to do so, stepping up Middletown South will control far side for Middletown South. That's Eric Siegel. Siegel drops off into the middle. Carrying across the field is Middletown South. Looks up, finds Scott Millivoy. Millivoy now in control. Stepping up East Brunswick to break that one up for East Brunswick. That's Jared Forma.
Good ball work that time by Middletown South. They're finally starting to work it a little bit, and we can see that short passing game that they have.
Middletown South now with an opportunity just outside the 18-yard line. East Brunswick steals it away quickly. Foreman in control near side, looks for a short touch pass, give and go. Finds Slater on that one. Foreman now in control, looks down the line. The referee signaling that that ball, I believe, is out of bounds. So Middletown South with a throw-in at about the center stripe. With the throw-in for Middletown South. That's Michael DeCapua. DeCapua finds Weil down the line. Weil beating one player, right-footed cross into the box. There waiting for it is Carrington, but Carrington can't get a foot on it. Cleared out quickly by East Brunswick. East Brunswick in control. Oh, steps over an opportunity for Middletown South. Kartzman comes out of the box and clears out with his right foot, unable to pick it up as he was challenged that time by Scott Millivoy. Middletown South's first big opportunity of the afternoon. Millivoy in control near side, and stepping up and taking him down is Dan Meckelberg right in front of the referee. So now Middletown South will get their first restart of the afternoon.
Yeah, direct kick outside the box, though. It's a tough angle, really, to get a shot on goal. Look for service to the far post. Or we'll see what kind of set piece they have on a short play.
Rob Weil near side with the kick. About five Middletown South players in the box. Weil sends near side. Good shot. Kartzman steps up with his right hand and pops it out of bounds. The referee signaling that it was out of bounds already, so that'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick. Just under 30 minutes. East Brunswick and Middletown South still scoreless. East Brunswick with the goal kick. East Brunswick in their home white jerseys. Long goal kick dropped just short of the midfield line off the head of Rob Weil. Weil drops down to the feet of Millivoy. Millivoy looking center field, trying to find Siegel. Siegel unable to control, stepping up for East Brunswick, Buffalino. Buffalino sends over the center stripe, waiting for its Neil Forend. Forend sends up. East Brunswick stepping up, trying to control Ho there with it. Ho unable to maintain control. Now Longo with it. Longo looks up the line, trying to find the foot of Joseph Conderso. Conderso's unable to control. It's out of bounds. South now with the throw. Middletown South in control far side, Joe DeGennaro. DeGennaro sends it down the line, broken up by East Brunswick. Referee signaling some sort of infraction against Middletown South, so East Brunswick with the restart at about the center stripe. Sends the ball just short of the box. East Brunswick in control. Two players there for East Brunswick. Couple of headers back and forth. Now stepping up. Referee will signal a call against East Brunswick. Middletown South now with the restart about 40 yards off their own end line. Taking it for Middletown South is Neil Forend. He'll send it to the center of the box. Looking for Weil. East Brunswick breaks it up and knocks it out of bounds. So now Middletown South with the throw-in, looking Weil in the corner. Weil turning goal side, unable to get a shot across. East Brunswick doing a good job fending to the near side. He pokes one through the middle. East Brunswick waiting for it. Forman will pop it out. Weil in control again on the near side touchline. Drops it through the legs of Slater. Waiting for it on the other side is Siegel. Siegel unable to control that ball to be out of bounds. Middletown South throwing. Weil with the throw-in, near side touchline, just about at the 18-yard line. He'll drop it into the 18 off the chest of Carrington. Carrington sends to the corner. Referee signaling an offsides against Middletown South. So an opportunity for South as they chase it into the corner, but it is offside, so East Brunswick with the restart. Mecklenburg with the restart inside the 18-yard line. He'll send it down the near side touchline, looking for Conderso. Conderso steps over it. East Brunswick now in control in the middle of the field for East Brunswick. Gurriello unable to control it. It'll go far side. 2 Middletown South players there. That time poked out of bounds by Middletown South. So East Brunswick with the throw in at the center stripe. East Brunswick in control, far side touchline off the head of Longo. Longo stepping up, trying to take it away from Middletown South's Phil Mignona. Longo wins control. Long shot into the box. Outside the box with a shot, with an opportunity. Conderso, he's unable to turn it goal side. That ball will roll out of bounds off the foot of Middletown South. Corner kick for East Brunswick.
See, with all the pressure that time that Conderso had on him, he's really got to look to take that shot and not try to be so fancy in the box. They need to take shots. It's still early enough in the game where a goalkeeper might not be ready yet.
Conderso that time with the quick corner kick into Mecklenburg. They're unable to control, so Mecklenburg will toss the ball in. East Brunswick with an opportunity. The keeper is down, but the referee signaling that the keeper was taken out. That time taking him out to Jared Forma, so Middletown South will have the restart at about the 6-yard line.
Yeah, Forma lost his balance that time and wound up submarining Mendez, and that's why he got the call.
Mendez with the restart. He'll drop that ball just about at the midfield stripe. Waiting for it is Mattia Buffalino. Buffalino controls, sends it up the field, but Middletown South steps up in the middle of the field for South, drops near side for Weil. Weil on the near side touchline. He'll cut back into the center. Looks upfield, tries to find a streaking Milivoy, unable to do so. East Brunswick will knock it out of bounds, that time off of Dan Mecklenburg, so Middletown South with the throw in near side touchline. South in control inside the 18-yard line. East Brunswick will pop it out. Waiting for it this time is Joe DeGennaro. He's unable to control. East Brunswick quickly turns it around, sending far side for East Brunswick. East Brunswick in control. A quick overlap on the far sideline. Breaking it up this time is Jeremy Rigoli for Middletown South. He'll send it down the touchline. Out of bounds. East Brunswick will have the throw in. Quick turn looking for Kartzman. A dangerous play for East Brunswick as waiting there on the near side was Scott Milivoy streaking across to challenge Kartzman. Kartzman with the punt about 25-30 yards finds Mecklenburg. Mecklenburg quick turn upfield looking for Conderso. Conderso now in control looking for a through pass, but way off sides that time for East Brunswick. It's Justin Smutko. So with the offsides, an indirect kick for Middletown South. South pops it over the center stripe. In control near side. That's Rob Weil off the chest of Weil. East Brunswick stepping up to control now near side Greg Slater. Slater with some running room coming over to challenge him. He'll send it down into the corner, this time looking for Forma. Forma with an opportunity one-on-one with the keeper. But that time, Mendez gets the better of it. Mendez pulls it out from under the feet of Conderso.
Good aggressive play that time by Jared Forma, who had an opportunity there, and he almost created one for himself with the collision with Mendez.
Near side now, quick turnaround for Middletown South. Middletown South in control in the center of the field. Weil losing it to East Brunswick. East Brunswick now in control, trying to control it. Bringing it all the way across the field. That time is Buffalino. Buffalino drops off. Looking this time for Gurriello. Gurriello unable to control. South steps up. Weil in control far side. Middletown South trying to string together a couple of passes. Now with an opportunity for South. That was Scott Milivoy, but stepping up from the backfield. East Brunswick quickly clears it out. Mecklenburg on the near side. Mecklenburg and Conderso trying to string together some passes. Breaking it up that time is Eric Siegel.
Good defense that time by Eric Siegel. It was really the only thing he could do, knock it out of bounds. Otherwise, he was faced with a 2-on-1, but he was able to get to the ball early enough.
Near side throw in this time for East Brunswick, Dan Mecklenburg. In control now, Buffalino. Buffalino sends a service into the box, looking a scoring opportunity, and that's a goal for East Brunswick. That one going over the head of Adrian Mendez, who appears to be down. East Brunswick with a scoring opportunity at 23-28. East Brunswick picking up that goal. It appeared to be, I think, Justin Smutko was that on the goal?
Dan Gurriello actually with a very opportunistic goal, got the ball centered to him and just wound up taking a shot. I think he was actually trying to continue the cross, wound up popping it up and caught Mendez off guard, who couldn't get back in time. And Mendez, in his haste to get back and try to save it, got a little bit of a hand on the ball, but not enough. The momentum carried the ball into the net, and he wound up cracking his knee on the side of the post.
So at the 23-28 mark remaining in the first half, East Brunswick takes the 1-0 lead over Middletown South. Dan Gurriello with the goal. Middletown South's Mike Fry in control, middle of the field on the restart. Fry now sends a long ball up, looking this time for Mike Seffern, who checked into the game for Middletown South. Seffern now in the corner. He'll take the throw in for Middletown South. 3 players, Fry, Weil, and Carrington in the box for Middletown South. Not finding any of them, East Brunswick will clear it out. Streaking across near side for East Brunswick this time, Dan Goriello. Goriello unable to control it. Middletown South, a give and go 20. Mike DeCapua in control of it. He'll send it down the near side to Weil. Weil now in control. Looks right-footed center pass to Fry. Fry unable to control. He'll turn. East Brunswick now sends it far side for East Brunswick. Mitch Brown chases it down on the far side touchline. That ball roll out of bounds. Middletown South throwing. With the throw-in, Darren Blackburn. Middletown South with a series of substitutions. Mike Faulkner now in control on the far side. He also checked in, not a starter today. East Brunswick in control. Referee signaling an offsides against East Brunswick. That time looked like they had 2 men offsides. So with the restart, Weil will have it at about 25, 30 yards off of the end line. Weil leaves it as Neil Forend will take the restart. Forend sends a high service. No Middletown South player around. 3 East Brunswick players come down with it. But stepping up for Middletown South, DeGennaro. DeGennaro sends near side and out of bounds. East Brunswick throwing. Mecklenburg quickly up with it, not wasting any time. Mecklenburg now controlling near side touchline. Long service down the near side touchline. Not finding any East Brunswick players. Buffalino up over the back of a Middletown South player. E.J. Zaворowski, that was, over the back of a Middletown South player. So Middletown South will now have the restart at about the center stripe.
For Dan Guariello, the sophomore forward for East Brunswick, his 11th goal of the season as the Bears lead it 1-0.
Restart Foreign sends into the box service, looking for Middletown South players, unable to find them. Now South with an opportunity as they break through the defensive line for East Brunswick, but no one with a shot on net. Kartzman coming down with one of few saves for this afternoon. He'll clear it out. East Brunswick now control far side touchline, stepping over for Middletown South. Mike Faulkner, that ball roll out of bounds. East Brunswick throwing. East Brunswick now with the throw-in on the far side touchline. Quickly in and out of bounds. East Brunswick with a second throw and moved up about 3 yards. Long throw-in down the far side touchline. East Brunswick unable to control. That time a dangerous play, I believe, called against East Brunswick. It appeared as if Mattia Buffalino had his spikes turned up. So with the restart now for Middletown South, Neil Forend. Forend will send the ball into the center of the field, just short of the box, with an opportunity now. Stepping up to clear it out is Mecklenburg, as he had 2 Middletown South players in front of him. Good heads-up play, long clear over the far side touchline at the center stripe. East
Brunswick playing very good compact defense right now, getting the clears when they need to. But I don't think they're playing the way they want to play on offense. They're not really finding any continuity up front, but nonetheless, they're in the driver's seat with a 1-0 lead.
Long ball sent over the midfield line. Stepping up is Rob Weil for South. Weil breaking it up that time for East Brunswick is Buffalino. Buffalino one-on-one with the keeper, fakes left, and unable to get around that time. Adrian Mendez pulls it out of Buffalino's legs, but he's down again. The second time this afternoon, injured. First time on the goal, but referee going over to check in with him. He'll come up. Seems to be in a bit of pain.
Well, that's really the 3rd time he's taken a pounding. He had a collision before with Jared Former, who's considerably bigger than he is. Then he collided with the post, and now again with Buffalino. So it's been a rough first 20 minutes or so for Adrian Mendez.
Buffalino that time with an opportunity, one-on-one with the keeper, unable to get around him. Mendez breaking it up. 19:15 remaining in the first half. East Brunswick with the 1-0 advantage over Middletown South. Middletown South tries to control on the far side for Middletown South. Mike Faulkner. Faulkner sends into the corner and a long cross. Across the box sends it Scott Carrington, but that'll go over the goalpost, and it'll be a goal kick for East Brunswick.
Well, East Brunswick should be leading 2-0. Buffalino certainly blew a golden opportunity, one-on-one with the keeper, and there was no Middletown South defenders near him. He's got those nice long legs and was able to outrun the nearest defender, but just lost control of the ball as he got inside the 18-yard line. Probably panicked a little bit. He's the team's leading goal scorer. He's got to step up and convert those.
Michael DeCapua in control on the far side. He tries sending it upfield. East Brunswick will send it back in his face. East Brunswick now controls at the center stripe for East Brunswick. Jared Forma. Forma sends a long ball out of the box. Mendez waits for it on the 18-yard line.
one of the criticisms that Dan Haston had of his club was that his team was getting the opportunities but not finishing, and that's an opportunity right there. His team should be leading 2-0, but because of a poor finishing job by Mattia Buffalino, the game remains 1-0.
Middletown South will have the throw-in on the near side touchline as that ball rolled off the head of Mattia Buffalino. Near side with the throw-in, Mike Surfin. He'll send it untouched to Kartzman. Kartzman comes up with it unchallenged. Kartzman waits a few seconds for the box to clear out. East Brunswick with the clock in their favor now as they have the 1-0 advantage. He'll punt that one out, and that'll roll off the head of Joe DeJaneiro. Now near side, Weil in control of it. Weil sends it down the line looking for Surfin. Surfin in control, long service, far side of the box. East Brunswick steps up and breaks up the play. Sending it right back in is Joe DeJaneiro. Cadurso coming out of the box. Forma coming out from the backfield to try to clear it. Middletown South now controls far side touchline, Mike DeCapua. DeCapua with some running room. DeCapua will send it up the field. Faulkner breaks it up. Faulkner now has it on the far side touchline. Tries to turn, but he's unable to do so as that ball roll out of bounds off an East Brunswick player. Faulkner quickly picks it up and throws it into play. Middletown South stepping up their offense over the last few minutes as they've controlled the offensive third of the field for the last 3 or 4 minutes of play. Middletown South with a couple of opportunities. Weil will send it into the corner. Kartzman will come out and he'll have to pull that down. Waiting right in front of him is Mike Faulkner this time, challenging.
We're getting an opportunity to see here Middletown South starting to play its game. They're playing the short passing game and able to be a little dangerous on offense finally, and they're showing that they do have good ball control. They're coached by Mark Sessa now in his 14th year, so this really a program developed now at Middletown South, and Sessa has a good program working, and we're able to see the fruits of it a little bit here. As you mentioned, Middletown South has been dangerous a little more the last 3 or 4 minutes in East Brunswick's defensive third.
Coriello that time offside, so for Middletown South, Neil Foran will put the ball into play. That'll bounce off the head of Rob Longo on the far side. Now control center of the field. It's Condurso. Middletown South steps up and controls. East Brunswick ricochets off their head. Three East Brunswick players try to control it. That ball be sent to the far side touchline. East Brunswick coming up with it, and they'll send it over the middle center stripe of the field. No East Brunswick player streaking, so that ball will roll out of bounds. Middletown South's Mike DeCapua will take the throw-in.
This is a relatively young Middletown South squad. We mentioned before, only 3 seniors in the starting lineup. But those seniors remember 2 years ago in 1991 when East Brunswick defeated Middletown South 1-0 at Middletown South for the Central Jersey Group 4 championship. So maybe Middletown South needs to use that as an inspiration as they trail here 1-0.
Throw in for Middletown South on the far side is Darrell Blackburn. He's unable to control it. East Brunswick challenges. Tries turning it upfield. He can't do so. That ball roll out of bounds. Middletown South throwing. Fry over to take the throw in. He'll send it to the center of the field for Darrell Blackburn. Blackburn sends it into the corner for Faulkner. Faulkner unable to turn it upfield. The referee signals that that ball was out of bounds, so East Brunswick trying to capitalize on the quick throw-in, but Dan Haston making a couple of substitutions. Now East Brunswick will put the ball into play, trying desperately to get it out of their defensive third of the field as Middletown South has stepped up their offensive game a bit. Finally over the middle stripe, but waiting there for it is Middletown South, and they'll quickly turn it around and make another attack. East Brunswick's Forma trying desperately to turn it upfield, but unfortunately finds the foot of David Barrett, and that ball will be out of bounds. So Middletown South will turn it up again. They'll send the ball in. That time, Mike Surfin was in control with it. Surfin sends it to the middle to Fry. Fry now beats 1 East Brunswick player, 2 on his back. Surfin in some trouble. Got 3 East Brunswick players around him. Drops it off near side for Milivoy. Milivoy will send it far side. An open Middletown South player with the header, and a good opportunity for Middletown South. That was Mike Faulkner over there on the far side with the header.
Faulkner with a terrific opportunity, nice diving header, gave himself up in the box on a good cross, and Middletown South really with its first dangerous opportunity. And what you're starting to see here with the fouls by East Brunswick is that the Bears are starting to panic a little bit as Middletown South turns up the pressure. East Brunswick hasn't had an opportunity since Mattia Buffalino missed the one-on-one opportunity, and that might have taken a little bit of wind out of their sails.
Fry now the restart right in front of the box, straight into the hands of Kartzman. Kartzman coming up with it after being challenged by 3 Middletown South attackers. Kartzman waiting for the box to clear out. He'll punt that ball just short of the middle field. That ball off the head of Mike DeCapua. Middletown South quickly turning it around, trying to capitalize on another attacking opportunity, but this time sending it upfield Joe Condurso. No one around for East Brunswick. Condurso in control about 40 yards off the end line. Condurso looking for an East Brunswick player. He'll send it up that time. The ball roll out of bounds near side. It'll be an East Brunswick throw-in. With the throw-in, Dave Barrett on the near side. Barrett finds Condurso. He'll send it to the center of the box, but Mike Faulkner will turn it around and send it upfield as Middletown South tries to turn it around and attack again. Now control for South is Matt Porio, but East Brunswick steps up from the backfield. Justin Smucko will clear it out. East Brunswick now with an opportunity on the near side for East Brunswick. That's Buffalino. Near side streaking into the corner is Zaворowski. Ball roll out of bounds, waiting for the referee signal, and that will be a throw-in just about in the corner. Referee going over to the corner to, I guess, replace the pole that was knocked down as the player slid right into the corner. So it'll be a throw-in for East Brunswick. In the corner, Dave Barrett to take it. A good opportunity for East Brunswick as they have 5 players in the box. Barrett with the long throw into the box. Not finding any East Brunswick heads, so that'll be cleared out by Middletown South. On the near side this time, Meckelberg will try turning it upfield. He's unable to do so as that ball rolled out of bounds.
Wasn't a good throw in that time by Barrett. He got a nice spiral going there. Dan Marino hasn't thrown that well.
East Brunswick now in control on the near side for East Brunswick. Forma beats one player, tries to. The referee calling the push against him, so Middletown South with the throw, and East Brunswick really stepping up their aggressive game, so to speak, being called for a number of fouls over the last few minutes. I don't know whether it's a frustration that's kicking in, as Middletown South has certainly turned up the intensity level, and Middletown South is controlling the game a little bit more now. Middletown South in the corner, running over for it is Neil Foran. Foran tries turning it up. He'll send it upfield, looking for Fry, but East Brunswick will quickly break it up. East Brunswick looking to string together the give and go, but unable to do so. Breaking it up that time is Darrell Blackburn out of bounds. East Brunswick throwing it about the 18-yard line, far side touch line. East Brunswick throws into the box. Middletown South tries to punch it out, not allowing anyone to turn goal side. East Brunswick with an opportunity from the 18. No one able to capitalize on a shot. Good opportunity for East Brunswick, and that's a goal for East Brunswick. With the goal, that's Jared Forma at the 10:54 mark remaining in the first half. Jared Forma picks up the goal. East Brunswick goes on top of Middletown South 2-0.
There's another opportunistic goal by East Brunswick. We saw before how banged up Adrian Mendez had been. He had 3 collisions, one with the goalpost, another one with Jared Forma, and another one with Mattia Buffalino. And here's an opportunity where he's a little bit tentative coming out, and it cost him because he wasn't concentrating on the ball. He was concentrating on big Jared Forma coming in on him to challenge the 50-50 ball. He forgot about the ball. He takes a look at Forma, who came in like a freight train and wasn't watching the ball, and then Forma was able to stick it in the back of the net.
Middletown South will restart as East Brunswick goes on top 2-0 with just over 10.5 minutes remaining in the first half. East Brunswick in control. Forma, who just picked up the goal, now controls. He'll send it far side for East Brunswick. East Brunswick tries to maintain control. Overlap on the far side. East Brunswick streaks into the box. Opportunity for East Brunswick. Right-footed shot. And save that time. It'll be punched out of bounds by Adrian Mendez. Another good scoring opportunity for East Brunswick.
A great speed by E.J. Zaforowski on the overlap on the left side, and he did a good job to get that shot off. Here's an opportunity where his speed put him in a position to score a goal. He wasn't looking to cross at that time. He was looking to have a crack at the net. And what likely would have happened had that been more on goal is that Mendez gives up the rebound because he took such a hard shot. That ball comes right out in front of the net, and East Brunswick could probably finish another goal there.
East Brunswick making some substitutions, bringing in Bryant Ho. And checking out for East Brunswick appears to be Jared Forma. Corner kick into the center of the box. Opportunity for East Brunswick, but Mendez punches it over the top. Referee signaling that that ball just went over the top without Mendez touching it, as it'll be a goal kick for Middletown South.
Middletown South needs to stay composed if they want to get back into this ball game. 2-0 is a very dangerous score, because if East Brunswick scores, suddenly it's a 3-0 game, which requires the other team to score 4 goals to win it. However, if East Brunswick gives up a goal here, it's suddenly a 1-goal game again. So 2-0, most coaches would say, is the most dangerous score in soccer.
So Mendez will take the goal kick, and it'll go over the far side touchline untouched. East Brunswick now with the throw, and Slater over to take it. Slater will send it in looking for Condurso. Condurso unable to maintain control. Middletown South tries turning it upfield, but they'll bounce that out of bounds. The referee signaling that a win off an East Brunswick player, so Middletown South with the throw-in. Eric Siegel will take it. He'll send it in to Fry. Fry drops it off for Faulkner. Faulkner in some trouble. He'll turn back looking for some support. Drops it off on the far side touchline looking for Eric Siegel, but a little too hard over the far side touchline.
Siegel wasn't in position to receive that pass, and he forced Faulkner to chip it up in the air and try to get it to him, and it's too dangerous on that far sideline. The ball's just going to roll out of bounds because of the slope.
East Brunswick now controls on the far side. A long service into the box. Looking for Condurso. Middletown South will break it up, and they'll carry it down the far side touchline. That one out of bounds on Neil Foran. So East Brunswick with the throw-in. Opportunity in the center of the box for East Brunswick. They're unable to turn it on the goal. Middletown South will clear it out, but the referee's going to signal a push against East Brunswick. That one, a push against Mike Fry. So in the center of the field, Middletown South will have a restart with 8:03 remaining in the first half. East Brunswick has the 2-0 edge over Middletown South.
Middletown South has lost that momentum they had early on, where we saw them pressuring in East Brunswick's defensive third. They were able to string together a number of short passes and be dangerous, and it was frustrating East Brunswick a little bit. But the Bears now with a 2-goal lead can afford to take some more chances, and Middletown South right now is a little bit down. They're a little bit off their game.
Middletown South trying to create something on the far side, stepping up as Faulkner. Faulkner with a long cross into the center of the box. Kartzman will come off his line, and he'll pull that one off the head of a Middletown South player, so Kartzman now will punt it.
Good individual effort by Faulkner to get to that ball and get the cross off as he slid to save it from going over the goal line.
Near side for East Brunswick, Dave Barrett. Barrett will send it upfield. East Brunswick with a quick move to try to beat him around the near sideline. The referee signaling that one out of bounds, which from our perspective, it certainly didn't appear to be out of bounds. Just barely nudged the touchline, but the referee on the far side signals that out of bounds, so Middletown South will have the throw-in.
And there's nobody arguing on the East Brunswick side either, so maybe we don't have as good a shot. Maybe that's why we're up here and we're not refereeing today.
With the throw-in, Mike DeCapua. He'll send it in off the head of Mitch Surfin. Referee calling a handball against an East Brunswick player.
Yeah, Middletown South looking for the dangerous play call that time, but didn't get it. Instead of handball.
Fry with the restart. He'll send it to the center of the box. No Middletown South player waiting there for it. East Brunswick tries to turn it upfield. Fry comes up from the backfield, and now with an opportunity sends it to the far corner. But no Middletown South player will make a run on it as it'll roll out of bounds. East Brunswick throwing. East Brunswick looking to make a number of substitutions now, bringing back in Mattia Buffalino and Dan Goriello, as two East Brunswick players will check out of the game. East Brunswick makes the throw-in. That ball will roll off the head of Rob Weil and out of bounds. Second throw-in for East Brunswick. In control now for Middletown South. It's Eric Siegel who'll send it down into the corner, making a run for South is Blackburn. Blackburn unable to control it. He'll be called for a push against East Brunswick. So just about on the far side, 18-yard line, outer mark. East Brunswick will have the restart with just over 5.5 minutes remaining in the first half. East Brunswick has the 2-0 edge over Middletown South. East Brunswick with the restart. Far side. Middletown South tries to control Weil. He's unable to do so. East Brunswick stepping it up. East Brunswick now with an opportunity. Sends far side for Condurso. Condurso with one man to beat. Condurso turns it in, looking for the overlap, but unable to do so. Middletown South will drop it out quickly. East Brunswick switching fields, coming over to the near side touchline for East Brunswick. Barrett, he'll send it into the corner. Looking for Goriello. Goriello with two men to beat. Sends it across the center of the box, and East Brunswick just can't get a shot on goal with a number of opportunities turning left and right. Can't get the shot off.
Yeah, Guariello's got to be a little more selfish in that situation. Here he is 14 yards away from the goal, looking to cross it. He's got to be taking that shot, especially with the momentum all in East Brunswick's favor and a chance at a rebound when you're in that tight.
Middletown South now will try sending it down the far sideline. For Middletown South making a run, that's Jeremy Grigoli. Grigoli with one man to beat. He's unable to do so as East Brunswick will clear it back over the midfield line. Middletown South quickly back into East Brunswick territory, and East Brunswick right back at Middletown South. No one for East Brunswick waiting there as Middletown South will send it back toward East Brunswick. Fry in control of it now. He'll drop it off on the near sideline, on the near side for DeGennaro. DeGennaro drops it back to Blackburn. Blackburn with a shot on goal. Kartzman comes down with it. Kartzman waits for the box to clear, and now he'll punt the ball. Short punt, that one only about 35, 40 yards. East Brunswick unable to control it as Middletown South turn it around and try to put together another offensive opportunity. Running into the corner for Middletown South, that's Jeremy Grigoli. He's unable to turn it in. The referee's indicating that it's a corner kick, so Middletown South now with another opportunity.
Middletown South starting to find that momentum, a little bit of rhythm back now. They're starting to be more dangerous, and you have to be careful watching the scoreboard clock. When you play with a field that has a scoreboard clock, you tend to look up and check a little bit too often, and you can fall asleep in the closing minutes and take it easy.
Good opportunity for Middletown South, trying to string together the center and then the scissor kick for Middletown South. That was Mike Surfin, but he was unable to get a hard shot off as Kartzman came up with it without too much of an effort. Kartzman now with the punt, making a run over the center stripe. Scoriello, he's looking for Condurso on the near side. Condurso unable to get to it. Stepping up to break up that one is Eric Siegel. He'll send it out near side touchline, out of bounds.
What a nice pass by Guariello that time. He really almost set up Condurso on a terrific through ball. Made a nice move to free himself up and then kept it on the ground and made a nice ball through, but Condurso just couldn't get there in time. But Guariello, a very exciting young player for just a sophomore. Expect to see good things from him in the next couple of years.
Eckelberg now tries to control on the near sideline. He'll leave it back for Smutko. Smutko sends it up to the middle stripe, unable to get it over. Stepping up to break that one up is Porio.
Yeah, that time he put it right back into danger. Smutko's got to look to switch that field a little bit. He pumped it right back into all the traffic again.
East Brunswick tries to head it upfield, but they're unable to do so. It'll be out of bounds at the center stripe. Middletown South with the throw, and Darrell Blackburn will put it in. No one there for Middletown South. East Brunswick will clear it out. Center of the field for East Brunswick, Forma. Forma looking to switch fields that time, but unable to complete the pass. As Middletown South will break it up, sending into the corner this time for Middletown South is Surfin. He tries to turn goal side, unable to get a good shot off. Kartzman will come out of the net. Kartzman not wasting any time. He'll quickly turn it upfield. He sees Forma waiting. He'll roll it out to him. Forma tries to send near side for Guariello. Guariello with two men to beat. He's unable to do so. He'll cut back inside now with an opportunity. Beats both men one-on-one with the keeper. Keeper comes out, bounces it out. Guariello still in some running room. He'll drop it back so someone else could take a shot. Unable to get it on net. East Brunswick with an opportunity, an open net as Guariello pulled the keeper out. But East Brunswick not finishing it off.
Well, Mattia Buffalino had the shot on the open net, and he did what he had to do. He knew the keeper, Mendez, was out. And, he just didn't have the shot that time. There's not a case where it's a poor finishing job. It's just a job where he is unlucky. So a good opportunity by Buffalino, and all created by the hustle of Guariello.
Middletown South tries to control near side. East Brunswick will step back to break it up. East Brunswick's Meckelberg will send it over the middle stripe over the head of a jumping Guariello. Middletown South now will turn it around quickly, sends it into open space. No Middletown South player around. East Brunswick in control. Center of the field, Buffalino. Buffalino with some running room. He'll drop it back to the middle field line. East Brunswick slowing down the game a little bit, but Middletown South stepping up with a good opportunity now. Middletown South drops into the corner for Fry. Fry now with some running room. He'll cut it back. Tries to beat one East Brunswick player. A second one steps up. Fry beating both of them, but a third one now stepping up as East Brunswick clears it out, but waiting for it. Weil with a shot on goal. Kartzman bobbling a little bit and dropping it. Two Middletown South players waiting for it, but they're unable to knock it into the net. So Kartzman comes down with it, and we're just under 3 minutes left in the game.
That opportunity for Middletown South created because either Mitchell Brown or Lewis Kimmel couldn't read the number, decided to pop the ball up in the air in the midfield, and it was taken away by Middletown South, who created an opportunity out of it.
Goalie with another opportunity. Middletown South really picking up the pace of the game. East Brunswick trying to clear it out near side Guariello. Guariello tries to turn it up. Middletown South in his face. Second Middletown South player waiting there for him, so they'll turn it up. Forma battling on the near side. Unable to control out of bounds. The referee calling some infraction against Middletown South. So East Brunswick with the restart. Near side, just off the touchline, about 40 yards off the end line.
Now, Guariello's a young player. I mentioned before he's only a sophomore, but he can't afford to be taking guys on in his own half of the field. That was how Middletown South was dangerous last time. He's got to learn to knock that ball forward, look for somebody on the overlap, or try to switch it. He can't afford to take guys on one-on-one, especially more than one player.
And the referee signaling the end of the first half. East Brunswick picking up 2 goals during the first half. The first goal, Dan Goriello getting that goal at 23-28. And then just at 10:54 remaining in the first half, Jared Foreman made it 2-0 for East Brunswick. So East Brunswick now heads into the locker room with a 2-0 edge over Middletown South. Gordy, as a coach, what would you be telling Middletown South to do coming back out into the second half?
I think Middletown South needs to take more of its scoring opportunities. They're getting the pressure I think they want to get. And what they need to do is not look so much to send the ball over the back of East Brunswick's defense. Because Middletown South only plays with 2 front runners, they're going to need to string together more passes and look for players to overlap, like a Mike Fry or Neil Forant coming on the wing side, because Rob Weil and Scott Millivoy are the only 2 players up front. So I think what Middletown South needs to do is keep the ball on the ground and look for the give and go. They are a good short passing team. They've proven that already, and they've had some dangerous opportunities, but East Brunswick has been opportunistic. They've hustled a little bit more. They've got a little more speed and athletic ability, so I think Middletown South really needs to play its game and not get wrapped up in the little bit of the kick and run that East Brunswick's been doing this afternoon.
Okay, so it's halftime right now. East Brunswick with the 2-0 edge over Middletown South. Scott White and Gordy Deal will be back with the second half action in just a moment.
East Brunswick gets set to take the field here as we are ready to begin half number 2. 40 minutes left to play. East Brunswick holding a 2-0 lead on Middletown South. This is the semifinals of the Group 4 state championship. Dan Guariello put East Brunswick on the board at the 23-28 mark, his 11th goal of the season. Then Jared Foreman made it 2-0 on an opportunistic goal down in front. Gordy Deal and Scott White with you from East Brunswick's J. Doyle Field, and joining us now, former East Brunswick graduate and current Rutgers soccer player, Vic Tartaro. I was going to say former graduate. You're always a graduate, I guess. Is Vic Tartaro, who currently plays for Rutgers. And why don't you, first of all, give me a little first half analysis. Things you liked and disliked that you saw East Brunswick do.
The things I liked. Boys played well. They hustled, moved the ball around nice. They're playing direct, which I liked. They're trying to go to goal early, get their first goal. And they're battling real hard, winning a lot of air balls. The thing I didn't like was that they were panicking a little bit out of the back. They were just really clearing balls, without working them out of the back. But besides that, they're playing pretty good. They're up 2-0. I think they get another goal. Middletown South will fold, I think.
Middletown South with a great opportunity right there. Mike Fry picked one off and had a chance at the net. When you look at a team like Middletown South, really more of a short passing type game, more passing than East Brunswick really. When these styles come together, does it come down to really just who's got the better athletes or who's got more speed?
Yeah, it does. It does and it doesn't. I mean, if Middletown South can control the game, it'll be to their advantage. But East Brunswick plays that high-paced game, physical game. So we're winning. That's all I care. We're winning, and they're doing well.
You graduated what? Did you graduate in 90?
92.
92. So you played against this team to win the state championship in 91.
Yeah, we had a real interesting time with them. We had a little brawl after the game with them.
Yeah. A 1-0 win down at their place for the Central Jersey Group 4 state championship.
Yes, it was.
What do you remember about that game?
Oh, that game. Oh, it was a real tight game. Came down to, I guess, it was the last 15 minutes of the game. I think it was. Came down to right. I'm pretty sure it was the right side. Just served the ball to Jeff Gagne, and Jeff Gagne had one in and 1-0, and played some good D and came out with the result.
You guys got a big one coming up this weekend. Rutgers against Hartwick, first round of the NCAA tournament.
Sure I do. Feel like I'm going up to the North Pole. Oneonta up there.
Oneonta, New York. Well, you, I guess, have the possibility of playing in about 6 inches of snow. You never know what kind of weather you're going to get. What do you guys need to do in that game?
That game, well, we're playing Hartwick. We beat Hartwick already during the season 2-0. It was our last home game of the season. We're just going to play the same way we play them all the time. Tough, hard, move the ball around, and hopefully get a couple goals and get the victory.
Best of luck to you guys.
Thank you very much.
That's Vic Tartaro, former East Brunswick High School star and currently a member of the Rutgers University soccer team, which plays the first round of the NCAA tournament this weekend.
East Brunswick with the 2-0 advantage now over Middletown South. East Brunswick in control, 37-37 remaining in the game. East Brunswick with an opportunity, far side, drops to the center of the goal. The goalkeeper, looks like they have a new keeper. We don't have a name on that one, but Middletown South has a new goalie, and he slipped on that one. A good opportunity for East Brunswick. Long service into the box, and that ball over the top. Okay, Peter Canalis is the new goalie in for Middletown South. Peter Canalis now with the ball. He'll take the goal kick, 37 minutes remaining in the game.
Yeah, one thing we mentioned about before, we talked about all the collisions that their starter, Adrian Mendez, got in. He ran into the post, he ran into Jared Forma, he ran into Mattia Buffalino on a one-on-one. So Mendez really took a beating in the first half, and maybe this is a wake-up call that Coach Mark Sessa is trying to give him.
East Brunswick will chase it down the far side touchline. No one in the middle for East Brunswick. An easy clear up by Middletown South over the middle field line. Mecklenburg far side. Looking on the near side now. East Brunswick will turn it up. Center to Forma, unable to control it. Referee calling a push against East Brunswick, so Middletown South will have the restart about 25 yards off the end line.
Yeah, Forma got whistled for the charge that time, but you don't mind making a foul deep in their end because they're not going to score on a direct kick from about 85 yards away. So a good foul that time by Forma. He lets the Middletown South player know that he's there, and next time you better be a little more quick to the ball.
Forma quick on the restart that time, not looking upfield. He'll pop it about 20 yards, and it rolls out of bounds, untouched on the near side touchline. So Middletown South will have the throw-in. That one off the head of Buffalino and out of bounds. Middletown South with their second throw-in. Referee calling some sort of infraction on the field before the ball went out of bounds. Possibly a push against Buffalino as he headed the ball out of bounds. So now East Brunswick will have the restart on the near sideline. Mitch Brown will serve it into the far corner of the box. Cleared up by Middletown South over the head of Mitch Surfin. East Brunswick will send it back into the box. Coming off his line way out into the middle of the box, Peter Canalis, the goalkeeper that just checked in for Middletown South.
Canalis looks a lot more composed than Adrian Mendez. He really comes out and takes charge. He's got good leaping ability and really grips the ball with authority and makes it appear that he's in charge in the air, which I'm sure is a very comforting fact for the Middletown South defenders.
Middletown South with the throw-in on the near side, Rob Weil. Weil drops it into Fry. Fry the quick pass back to Weil, but Weil unable to control it. Goriello will send it on the near side touchline. In control on the near side, Rob Longo. Longo chases it into the corner, and it'll be out of bounds, popped out of bounds by Neil Forend.
Longo can't afford to wait that long. He's got Condorso wide open in the middle. He's got to get that cross off as soon as he has the opportunity. He can't afford to take a man on when he's got men wide open in the middle. He's got to get that cross off earlier.
Brown now with a left-footed cross into the box. Good opportunity for East Brunswick, headed over the goalpost that time, as East Brunswick has a good scoring opportunity in the second half.
Greg Slater was there, and he got high enough on the ball. The only problem is he couldn't head it down because it was just a bit too high and went off his forehead over the goalpost. A good chance that time for East Brunswick.
Canalis now with the goal kick. He'll send that just short of the midfield line. East Brunswick will come down with it. East Brunswick tries to control in the middle of the field, but Middletown South steps up. Middletown South now on the attack, carrying is Scott Carrington. Carrington tries to bring it over far side touchline. Back in the center of the field, that's Joe DeJaneiro in control of it. DeJaneiro will pop it up toward the 18-yard line. Four East Brunswick defenders swarm. Now all alone on the near side is Weil. Weil with a cross in front of the box. Good opportunity now for Middletown South as they're unable to direct it into the goal.
Mike Surfin with a great opportunity out front. Middletown South has had a couple of dangerous opportunities in the second half. We saw the one just about in the opening minute where Fry had an opportunity. Actually, Grigoli had the opportunity on a one-on-none, and he fired the ball over the top, and that time Surfin with a really dangerous opportunity on a good cross from the right wing. And this game could very well easily be tied at 2-2, but East Brunswick hangs on 2-0. Middletown South starting to step up the pressure now as they go to that short passing game, which is frustrating East Brunswick a little bit.
East Brunswick in control far side. Ball out of bounds. Referee signaling it's off East Brunswick, so Middletown South will have the throw-in on the far side touchline, about 40 yards off the end line. Middletown South tries to control. Three East Brunswick players step up and break that one up. Forma now tries to control on the near side. He'll leave it off. Back to Forma. Forma in control. He'll drop it up into the corner. Good opportunity now for Condorso. Condorso only having to beat one man. He's unable to do so. It'll be out of bounds. He jumps up on the back, unable to slow down his momentum of Eric Siegel. That ball will roll out of bounds. It'll be a corner kick for East Brunswick. Another scoring opportunity for East Brunswick as they have the 2-0 advantage over Middletown South. 32-12 remaining in the game.
Now we've seen Canalis in goal take charge in the air. He's tall and he's got some height, so we'll see if he doesn't try to pick off this cross.
Canalis off his line and Excellent call by Gordy Deal. Canales off the line, pulls it down untouched. Canales waits for the box to clear out, and now the punt.
Now that's something that East Brunswick will have to keep in mind next time they get a corner kick, is that he will come out and field it. He's got good jumping ability and he's tall, so they're going to have to look for a line drive or maybe swing it further out, maybe to the 12-yard line on the corner kick next time.
A trip against East Brunswick. Middletown South with the kick, far side. Going over to take it is Neil Forand. Forand will send it up into the offensive third of the field. East Brunswick waiting, and they'll quickly turn it around. East Brunswick now turns it around on the attack near side for East Brunswick. Longo. Longo sends on the overlap on the near side. Conderso, he's unable to pull it down. That ball will roll out of bounds off of Middletown South defender, so Conderso will have the throw-in. Forma, that is, will have the throw-in, actually. Quick turn into the center of the box. Scoring opportunity for East Brunswick. Peter Canales coming down with it again, as he's been challenged a number of times over the last few minutes, coming up very big with a number of saves, keeping Middletown South in this game.
Yeah, that gives confidence to the other players on the field when they know that their goalie is going to step up the way Canales is in a substitute role. Give credit to Middletown South and certainly head coach Mark Sessa for making that substitution, because Adrian Mendez was really banged up in the first half.
Another throw in for East Brunswick on the near side to take it. Rob Longo, wasting no time. He'll send it in quickly in the corner to Brown. Brown with the right-footed cross into the center of the box. Middletown South will clear it out. East Brunswick with a score, with an opportunity. Unable to get that shot off on goal. It'll be wide, way right over the end line. Middletown South with the goal kick.
East Brunswick with a 2-0 lead, but they haven't really shown that they're capable of taking this ball game over. Middletown South continues to get decent scoring opportunities, and it's going to be up to East Brunswick. Probably need to get another goal to make this game a sure victory. Right now, 2-0, we mentioned before, the most dangerous score in soccer.
Canales will clear the ball out on the goal kick. Middletown South, Scott Carrington will redirect it on the far side. He'll carry it over the midfield line. Out of bounds on East Brunswick. Carrington will take the throw-in. Carrington sends it through the middle. East Brunswick will control on the far side. Broken up that time as Scott DeGennaro steps through the middle, trying to switch fields. No Middletown South player waiting for it. Middletown South now comes to take the throw-in on the near side, Rob Weil. Weil with the throw-in into the corner, looking for Grigoli. East Brunswick breaks it up. East Brunswick now carrying on the near side touchline. No East Brunswick attacker making a run, so Middletown South will turn the ball around and send it upfield.
Yeah, another situation here where Longo's hanging on to the ball too long. He can't afford to get stripped of the ball where he did, because Middletown South can be dangerous with really 2/3 of the field in front of them, and they can mount a very quick attack in that 60 or 70 so yards.
A push against Middletown South's Mike Fry again, so Mike Fry will take the restart on the near side, about 35 yards off of the end line.
They should have gotten an advantage call there. By that time, Jeremy Grigoli really had an opportunity to take that ball on goal, but the referee instead made the foul call.
East Brunswick holding them at the 18-yard line. Long service into the box. Free ball in front of the net. Kartzman is down. It's an open net. Middletown South will try to, East Brunswick tries to clear it out, but the referee signaling some sort of a handball against East Brunswick, unable to catch which player it was. So Middletown South now with a good opportunity, they'll have the penalty kick.
Yeah, again, we mentioned before, and so did Vic Tartara, our halftime guest, and that East Brunswick was panicking a little bit in the box. Here's an opportunity where there's really no need for a handball, because the Middletown South players were not in the area. And one of the backs panicked and hit the ball with his hand in a desperate attempt to get rid of the ball, but really it was right on his chest, and he could have just volleyed it out by bringing it down to his feet. We mentioned before, 2-0, the most dangerous score in soccer, and with 28-21 left, Middletown South with a chance to get right back in this, and this could be the boost they need.
Junior Rob Weil will take it against Kartzman in the net. The referee stands on the line. Weil with the shot, and it's a goal. Untouched left side post. A low left side post shot for Rob Weil. Now East Brunswick, or Middletown South cuts the lead. East Brunswick with the 2-1 lead over Middletown South. That goal coming at the 28-16 mark remaining in the game.
Well, now East Brunswick's got to regain its composure here. They panicked a little bit, and it cost them. Middletown South converts on the set piece, but we'll have to see how East Brunswick responds now. They got to get rid of everything that happened prior to this ball game, and even in the first half, they have to play like they're down 1-0 and not hanging on to a 2-1 lead. Right now, they look like they're playing to avoid losing, and that's not the attitude you want to have when you have the lead. You want to have the attitude that you need to attack more and look to win the ball game rather than to avoid losing it.
As you mentioned, we now have a new ball game. It's only 2-1, so Middletown South 1 goal away from tying this game. East Brunswick will have the restart in the center of the field. The referee blows the whistle, and now Conderso will carry over the midfield line. He'll switch it up to the far side. Conderso makes a run through the middle. East Brunswick will turn it up on the far side. A couple of players to beat, unable to control it as that ball roll over the end line. Middletown South will have the goal kick.
Scott, let's keep an eye on the next 2 minutes, too. A lot of coaches say the next 2 minutes after you've scored a goal is very dangerous for you because your emotions are running so high and you're vulnerable to getting scored upon, while the other team is down after being scored on and they are vulnerable to giving up another goal. So we'll keep an eye for these next 2 minutes and see what happens.
Middletown South's Scott Carrington tries to control in the middle of the field. Near side now for Jeremy Grigoli. Grigoli sends up the field. The ball roll out of bounds off of Fry, so East Brunswick will have the throw-in on the near side. Looking back to throw it into Carson is Mitch Brown, but he opts to send it up the field over a couple of East Brunswick players, and Mitch DeCoppo will send it back into the offensive third of the field. Now Fry sending it far side. No Middletown South player over there, so East Brunswick will run it down into the corner. Middletown South's Mike Serafin will chase it into the corner out of bounds. Serafin will quickly throw it in, not wasting any time. 3 East Brunswick players will step up and clear it out on the far side touchline. Out of bounds, over to take the throw-in for Middletown South, Joe DeJaneiro. DeJaneiro now with the throw-in. He'll send the ball into the 18. East Brunswick trying to clear it out. East Brunswick is able to clear it out, but Middletown South will quickly turn it around. Weil now trying to control Carrington, trying to control in the middle of the field. East Brunswick will clear it out near side touchline. The ball, East Brunswick now streaking from the backfield. East Brunswick unable to control Middletown South with some running room. They'll send it up over the middle field. East Brunswick now control near side. East Brunswick not finding an outlet that time. Couple of Middletown South players stepping up and surrounding, making a run down the near sideline. Jeremy Grigoli, 2 players to beat, unable to do so. East Brunswick steps it up, and they'll try turning it around now on the near side touchline. To take the throw in, Rob Weil. Weil, who picked up the penalty kick goal just a few moments ago to get Middletown South back into this game. East Brunswick with the 2-1 advantage over Middletown South. 25:45 remaining in the game. Long ball, long service sent for East Brunswick. Canalis with some time. He'll pick it up and quickly throw it out now. Near side, Mike DeCoppo with it. DeCoppo looking upfield. He's unable to control it. That ball will ricochet off his leg and out of bounds. Quick throw in for East Brunswick. East Brunswick chasing it into the corner. DeCoppo will drop it out of bounds again as he's unable to control. East Brunswick throwing Rob Longo. Looking for some movement in the box. Longo now with it. Left-footed cross across the center of the box. Good opportunity for East Brunswick. Candles coming down with the bounce. Looked like it was a header. Bounced into the corner of the goal. Candles coming down with it. So Candles again being challenged and coming up big for Middletown South.
Yeah, Danguariello was in the neighborhood for East Brunswick. What happened was he was screened on the play, and by the time the Middletown South player had moved out of his way, the ball was right on top of Guariello. I think it hit off his forehead, then it went down to his knee and off his foot finally, so he didn't get much on the shot.
Referee stopping the clock as he's reaching for his cards. We're going to see a card on this. Both a Middletown South and an East Brunswick player checking over. Awarding yellow cards to both, that one going to Mike Fry for Middletown South. And for East Brunswick, E.J. Zaворowski. So Zaworowski and Fry will leave the game, as is the rule in East Brunswick, in high school soccer, I should say. After a yellow card, each player will leave the game, and now checking in on the near side for Zaworowski is East Brunswick's Brian Toe. In for Fry is Matt Porio. East Brunswick now with the ball long clear from the backfield. Out of bounds far side. Middletown South will have the throw in. Middletown South Grigoli in control of it. He'll send it into the corner. That time Weil with an opportunity to cross it in front of the box. He's unable to turn on it. That ball rolls over the end line. So now East Brunswick with the goal kick.
Middletown South continues to be dangerous, and East Brunswick still not really composed on defense, and they're going to have to work out those kinks because right now they're just looking to clear the ball, and they're playing kick and run out of the back, which can be dangerous. They're very susceptible to a score right now with their way they're playing defensively.
Middletown South throwing far side in the middle of the field. Weil with it. He can't control three East Brunswick players surround. Former with the header up to Ho, off the head of Ho. East Brunswick tries to make a run on the near side for East Brunswick. It's Dan Goriello. Goriello drops off to Ho. Ho in some trouble. A couple of teammates come over to help him. Condurso now controls. Condurso drops back on the support pass to Forma. Back to Condurso. Quick give and go. Condurso sends near side. This time looking for Longo. Longo with an opportunity. Gets across in front of the box. A loose ball. The goalie's down. Cleared out. A good opportunity for East Brunswick. Middletown South clearing it. And a long shot way wide for East Brunswick. So East Brunswick missing probably one of their best opportunities of the evening with practically a set piece just sitting there waiting for them on the ground. No one able to connect on an empty goal.
Yeah, nice job by Rob Longo getting that cross off that time. Instead of trying to beat a man or two, he was able to drive across the middle of the box, and the keeper, Peter Canales, was unable to hang on to it. Boy, East Brunswick with a golden opportunity out in front, but they couldn't convert. And those are the kinds of opportunities that can come back and haunt you because they need another goal here just to regain their confidence. Because I think right now their confidence is a bit shaken the way South has taken it to them.
22-16 remaining in the game. East Brunswick in control on the near side, but that ball will be punched out of bounds. A corner kick for East Brunswick as Scott Carrington dropped that one out. E.J. Zafarowski will check back into the game for East Brunswick as he was replaced just moments ago on the yellow card. So E.J. Zafarowski back into the game.
We keep an eye, see if they remember what happened last time on the other corner kick. Now they play it short. Good call.
Short pass. Here East Brunswick's head coach Dan Haston yelling shoot the ball as East Brunswick really needs to get some shots on goal. They've had a number of opportunities in front of the net, unable to finish on a number of them. And here's an opportunity again for East Brunswick, a shot on goal near side. It'll be wide left, so Middletown South with the goal kick.
Yeah, it's Guariello again. Again, Guariello has good goal instincts. He knows that when he gets the ball with his back to the net inside the 18, he's got to get off a shot, and he's taken that responsibility upon himself and is trying to set an example here that his teammates have to do the same thing. Dan Guariello is a fine-looking young ball player.
Ball bouncing back and forth. Neither team able to string together any passes. Now East Brunswick tries to control in the middle of the field. That's Forma. Forma can't control it. Give up to Carrington. Carrington sends it far side for Blackburn. Blackburn can't control it. Two East Brunswick players there. Referee signaling an infraction against East Brunswick, so Middletown South now with the restart. Set piece just at the corner of the 18-yard line. Middletown South with a tough angle, but a good scoring opportunity for them as they'll bring 5 players into the box and 2 just outside the box.
Players lining up on the far side looking for the high far post service.
Right across the box and practically untouched as it'll roll out of bounds over the end line. A goal kick for East Brunswick. East Brunswick coming up lucky in that one is no Middletown South player was really able to get a shot off. East Brunswick setting up a good defense. East Brunswick will now put the ball into play. East Brunswick with the 2-1 lead. 20 minutes remaining in this game. East Brunswick controls far side. Middletown South stepping it up and stealing from behind, but unable to control as East Brunswick will bring it across the field and switch fields. On the near side now in control is Rob Longo. Longo in some trouble, looking for some help. He'll cut back, beat one player, sends it into the corner for Bryant Ho. Referee signaling some sort of an infraction. Offsides, I guess, by Bryant Ho in the corner, so That will be an indirect kick for Middletown South as East Brunswick has an opportunity, but they're unable to get it across. And offside's going against them.
Longo again taking too much time getting the cross off. While he hangs on to the ball, his players make runs forward, and that's when they get off sides. He's got to get that service off early. He's looking to take on one guy and then try and beat the same guy again. So he's got to get that service off a lot more quickly.
Canales way out into the front corner of the 18-yard line. Quick off the line tonight. He'll punt that ball, a short punt, falling short of the 18-yard line. Condurso comes down with it, or Former comes down with it. Former in control in the center of the field, punching it through far side, looking to make a run. Good scoring opportunity for East Brunswick. Turn in a shot. It'll be wide. Good opportunity for East Brunswick. They're unable to put it in the back of the net, but East Brunswick picking up the paces. They've gotten a couple of shots on goals now.
Yeah, there's Slater again, not taking the first-time shot. He tried to set himself up for the good shot, and by that time, Canales is in position. He's got to rip that shot right away. That's just what Dan Haston was talking about. His team is not finishing the opportunities, and here's another situation where they're trying to get that perfect goal. They're trying to walk it into the net. You can't afford to do that, not with a 2-1 lead. You've got to continue to take shots. When you take shots, you can get rebounds. The ball can hit off the post. The goalie can muff it up. But you can't afford to be dancing around the box. You've got to get shots off, especially at this point in the ball game, where another goal for East Brunswick would really put Middletown South in a big hole.
The words of a coach. East Brunswick needing to finish off some of their shots as they have the 2-1 advantage over Middletown South. East Brunswick now on the attack near side. They're unable to carry too far as Middletown South will step up and steal it for Middletown South. That's Mike DeCopua.
Yeah, Longo again just hanging on to it too long. He's got to get the switch of field, and now he's not getting back on defense. He's sort of complaining that none of his teammates are coming to him, and you can see him with his palms outstretched, kind of in exasperation, but he's got to know that he's got to get that service off because the players get used to him hanging on to the ball, and then they don't move for him.
Jeremy Grigoli is tripped up. DeCopua will now take the restart about 40 yards out of the end line. He'll send that ball to right off the head of an East Brunswick player. Not stringing together anything on that restart. East Brunswick now in control. They'll make a run on the far side touchline. Drops it back. Weil will break it up. Middletown South now in control. Ho up there, but he can't control it. That under the foot of Condurso. Middletown South now trying to turn it up. Zafirowski will send it up over the midfield line. Middletown South will step up. Neither team able to control the pace of the last few minutes as the ball is just bouncing back and forth. Long passes. East Brunswick now trying to bring it down. Middletown South will come up from behind, and that time a trip. The referee stopping the clock as he's going to reach for his cards one more time.
He's going to give a card to Jared Forma, and East Brunswick can't afford to have him out of the lineup too long. Forma's got to have a little bit more composure. He's all fired up as he comes to the sideline, but he needs to have more composure. And now he's having words with Dan Haston, the head coach, but he's angry, and he's got to have more composure than that. Forma has to know that his teammates need him on the field, and he is a senior. He's one of the leaders of this club, and he needs to know that when he commits a foul like that, his team is instantly in danger, especially with this ball just about 30 yards away from the net. Another set piece in dangerous territory for Middletown South.
Buffalino will check in as ball put in front of the box. Out of the box is Kartzman. Good opportunity, open net for Middletown South. And again, they can't finish it off, but Kartzman is down on the play.
There's a wide open net that time for Middletown South. One of the players coming through actually shot it off his own man. Otherwise, that would have been a goal and this game would be tied. And right now, the concern is for Ben Kartzman.
Trainers come onto the field to check him as the players stand around. East Brunswick certainly doesn't want to lose Ben Kartzman at this point in the game. He is coming up.
Now we'll see what they rule here, because normally when the clock is stopped for an injury, that player has to come off the field. And that could be critical because right now Middletown South has a corner kick, and you don't want to have to substitute a goalie at this point of the game for a corner kick. We'll see what the official decides to do. They may elect to leave him in. It looks like he just got the wind knocked out of him after that collision. We'll see if Middletown South argues that he should come out of the game. And now he again is down on his knees, so he is not fully recovered yet. Looks like he might be reaching around for his back.
The trainer, Phil Hostler, tending to him. There's about just over 16 minutes remaining in this game. East Brunswick has the 2-1 advantage over Middletown South. Kartzman now up and walking around as it looks like he's going to be coming off of the field for East Brunswick.
He's walking off under his own power, and that's a good sign. As you mentioned, with Phil Hostler alongside him there, but He's sort of checking all the inventory, stretching his arms, trying to stretch his chest a little bit. And East Brunswick will have to bring in the backup.
Chris Zangrando will now check in for East Brunswick. He replaces Ben Kartzman. Ben Kartzman coming off the sidelines as he was injured in the last play.
Now let's set the scene here. Here's Chris Zangrando, who hasn't played all evening long. It's gotten dark, so it's a lot cooler out. He had about 30 seconds to warm up at Middletown South with a corner kick. So Zangrando is going to get tested right off the bat. And we'll see if Middletown South tries to get a line drive and test Zangrando right off the bat. Again, the odds are stacked against East Brunswick right now.
Long service into the box. Middletown South unable to redirect it into the net. It'll roll over the far side touchline. And not wasting any time, Kartzman will come right back in. Zangrando seeing about 10 seconds of playing time as he checks in and fills the role of a backup goalie.
Well, you don't want to take any kind of chances with a cold keeper in there. Again, Zangrando had no time to warm up. He was just sort of thrown into the fire.
Middletown South with a shot on goal, now wide to the right, a little high and wide. So Middletown South trying to pick up the pace and put a ball on net. Is fairly soon the clock will be ticking against them with just over 15 minutes remaining. They have to keep in the back of their mind that they're playing with at a 2-1 deficit. They really need to put a couple shots on goal.
Somebody needs to step up for East Brunswick now and set an example because they're off their game. They're not into that short passing game that they like to work. They're not sending the ball wide and looking for the cross. They're kind of trying to jam it down the middle and float it over the back of Middletown South's defense. And that's not the way they need to play in order to be successful here. And Middletown South is taking advantage of that. They are back on their game rhythm, and they're getting the opportunities they need to tie this game up. So East Brunswick needs somebody to step forward and say, hey, let's settle down here. Let's play our game, and let's get back in some kind of rhythm and start getting some scoring opportunities again, because they've been shut out here in the second half.
On the goal kick, Foreman will check back in as he was just out for a few moments with the yellow card. Coming off the field is David Barrett. So Foreman now back in the game for East Brunswick. Middletown South with a couple of passes in the center of the field. Fry now sends far side. East Brunswick breaking it up. East Brunswick now trying to turn it upfield and mount an attack. In control, Condurso. He'll try to switch fields, bringing it straight across the middle of the field, running into some trouble. He's turning back. Drops it off on the far side. Fry steps up. It'll bounce off of Fry and out of bounds. So East Brunswick will have the throw-in on the far side touchline. East Brunswick throws it over the midfield line. Middletown South waiting for it. East Brunswick now again with another opportunity over the midfield line, but they can't control the ball over the center stripe as Middletown South seems to be waiting for them every time. East Brunswick now sends far side, looking for another scoring opportunity from the far side. Middletown South breaking it up and turning it around. East Brunswick really not putting together any offensive momentum over the last 10 or 15 minutes of this game. East Brunswick again trying to clear it out over the midfield line. And that one will be out of bounds. Middletown South throwing at the center stripe.
Yeah, Dan Haston looking for somebody to set an example out there, and he's calling on Dave Barrett to do it, because at this point as a coach, you can't pull out one player and say he's not doing the job. That's not what East Brunswick needs here. They need somebody to step up and set an example and say it's time to start playing our game because we have no rhythm whatsoever. And that's, I'm sure, what he's telling Dave Barrett right now on the sideline, that he needs to get in there and set an example and tell his team to settle down.
Middletown South now with an opportunity far side Fry, and he'll be taken down. Referee signaling a trip against Fry, so Middletown South with another restart opportunity just outside the 18-yard line, and you have to think they're knocking on the door of opportunity with a number of restarts, corner kicks, some open net opportunities.
East Brunswick continues to panic on defense, Scott, as you mentioned, just outside the 18. They've got to be a little more careful about where they commit their fouls in the back. And again, we'll probably see another ball floated to the far post.
Fry over to take it. Fry with the right-footed service into the box. No Middletown South player able to turn around and get a shot off on goal. East Brunswick clearing it out of the box, but Middletown South waiting for them. Weil with an opportunity. He'll send it in, but East Brunswick will clear it out quickly. A little chaos in the center of the field. Carrington will send it in, and Kartzman will be out and up with it as two players challenge. Kartzman not wasting any time, quickly throws far side, looking for a quick turnaround now in control center of the field. East Brunswick with some running room. East Brunswick now carrying for a few yards, drops it off far corner, all alone for East Brunswick. but unable to control as that ball roll out of bounds.
Now you can see what they're thinking here is here's Joe Condurso carrying the ball straight up the middle of the field with nobody on him, and he gets about 25 yards away, which is certainly in his scoring range, and he decides to send it wide to the right-hand side and look for the cross where he's got the good scoring opportunity. And, you know, with you taking a chance like that, and we see what happens, the ball rolls out of bounds. Again, that field slopes down over there, and even though the ball went over the end line, that's an opportunity where Condurso has to step up and crack a shot, because at worst comes to worst, you get a rebound and then, you know, another shot in tight, but you can't afford to be so unselfish in that situation, and we've seen that a number of times this evening.
Bryant Ho and Dave Barrett check into the game on that restart. Coming out is Mattia Buffalino and Greg Slater. So East Brunswick trying to shake up the lineup, as you mentioned. Coach Dan Haston talking to Dave Barrett just before he went into the game. East Brunswick tries to hold on to their narrow 2-1 lead with just over 11 minutes remaining in the game. East Brunswick on top of Middletown South.
Well, Canales has really stepped up a goal for Middletown South. He has outstanding composure in the box and really looks like he is an authority back there when he comes out and grabs the ball in the air. And East Brunswick, now you can see they're starting to back off and not challenge him when he comes out, and that's a sign that Canales has made his presence felt.
Middletown South now with an opportunity at about the 18-yard line. No one taking a shot on goal. East Brunswick quickly will turn it upfield. That ball will bounce up and hit the arm of Bryant Ho, the referee calling it a handball. So Middletown South now with the restart about 35 yards out, near side touchline. Fry will take it. East Brunswick holds at the 18-yard line. Service far side post, looking for player. Two Middletown South players get a goal side. East Brunswick sending it across the box. East Brunswick tries to clear it out, and they have an opportunity to clear it out, and they do.
Unbelievable that they would try to clear that ball back across the goal. East Brunswick really lucked out with one.
Middletown South player still down on the field. Neither of the referees seeing him. He's down on the field by the East Brunswick's defensive third of the field, just off of the end line. Referee now seeing him, and he'll stop the clock at the 9:55 mark. So Middletown South player went down on that play. He tried to break up the cross, and East Brunswick, instead of sending it upfield, turned it across the center of the box, as we were just talking about. A severe defensive breakdown, especially with under 10 minutes left in the game, a 2-1 advantage. It could have changed the whole face of this game, as they gave Middletown South a great scoring opportunity.
Yeah, we talked about the change of attitude that has occurred among the East Brunswick players, and it looks like now they are playing not to lose rather than playing to win. And that's a problem, because they find themselves panicking on defense, and when you panic on defense, you give up a sloppy handball like they did before to give up the goal to Middletown South, and then something like that where you clear the ball straight across the middle of the goal.
Another restart, redirection that time by Middletown South's Scott Millivu. Kartzman is able to come down with it, so East Brunswick now will turn it around, and they'll carry it down the near side touchline. Drops off for the center. Foreman now in control in the center. He'll send it to the near side, looking for the foot of Dan Goriello. Unable to find him. Goriello now with three players surrounding him. Ball bounce up and hit his arm. The referee sees it. He'll call a handball against Goriello.
Jared Forma again just trying to jam the ball down the middle of the field when it was their passing game that was a benefit to East Brunswick early on. They've got to get back to that, and Jared Forma has to lead by example in that situation.
Goriello that time getting the call in his favor, as he was pushed off by Middletown South Scott Millivoy. So East Brunswick now with the restart on the near side touchline, a few yards in. Mitchell Brown will take it.
Here's a situation where they need to play a short ball, because if they float it, Canales will pick it off.
Canales coming off his line to try to pull that one down, unable to control it. East Brunswick with an opportunity, an open net, no one able to put it in. East Brunswick with a cross in front of the net. Canales will pull that one down.
Well, Canales, I tell you, on that last free kick did a good job, because the rule of thumb for goalkeepers is that if you can't get to the ball, make sure you wipe out the men that are near you, even if they're your own players, and that's what he did that time. A couple of his players were able to drop back and cover the empty net, and they get the clear.
Near side East Brunswick, carrying for East Brunswick is Rob Longo. Running into a little trouble, looking for someone to dump off to. Gets a left-footed cross into the center of the box. Good redirection by East Brunswick. Unable to find the back of the net. That ball will be just wide right. Middletown South will now have the goal kick.
Well, East Brunswick now starting to get some opportunities, because Middletown South had been pressing forward so much, trying to look for the tying goal, that they found themselves a little bit short of personnel in the back, and East Brunswick able to take advantage of that opportunity.
Far side for Middletown South, Mike Surfin. is unable to control. The referee calls an infraction against Middletown South's Mike Surfin, so now East Brunswick will have the restart about 40 yards out, far side, just off the touchline. East Brunswick will bring 3 players just onto the edge of the box. Now a 4th player on the far side.
See, now they have an opportunity right there to play a short ball, and that's what they do instead of floating it in.
Good opportunity and a shot from about 30 yards out. Unable to get it on goal as it's just wide to the right. So another goal kick for Middletown South, and that's exactly what you were looking for on the last play. East Brunswick opting not to go that route, but this time, as you call it correctly, changing instead of the long lofting ball, the short pass, and then a good scoring opportunity as Longo was coming off his line, but East Brunswick unable to get the shot off on goal. East Brunswick now with another restart opportunity, their 3rd in about 2 minutes. This one coming about 30 yards off of the end line, about 10 to 15 yards off of the touchline, far side. Over to take it now. Conderso will run into the box. Service now. East Brunswick with an opportunity off the head, that time of Dave Barrett, but it was wide to the left, so another goal kick. Seems to be a momentum developing here as East Brunswick has had 3 restarts in almost the same location, either side of the field over the last few minutes. All 3 have been wide to one side of the goal, and all 3 have ended up in goal kicks. So a momentum developing here for East Brunswick, and as far as they're concerned, the longer they can keep the ball in the offensive half of the field, the better off they are, as they are nursing a 2-to-1 advantage.
They're starting to play now with a little bit more confidence. Middletown South continues to push forward. They have to take more chances now on offense and try to get the tying goal with time winding down.
5:50 remaining in this contest. East Brunswick with the 2-to-1 advantage over Middletown South. East Brunswick in control, far side touchline. Sends it down this time, looking for Dan Goriello. Goriello sends it to the center of the box. Middletown South will break it up. East Brunswick with a scoring opportunity, but that'll be an offside. It's quickly called by the referee. So East Brunswick stepping up the momentum, but being called offsides on that one, so Middletown South will now have the restart. Middletown South can't afford to waste any time on these dead ball restarts, as they are playing against the clock now. Carrington in control on the far side. Middletown South, Swile will send it up into the offensive half of the field. Fryle headed into the corner. Trying to run it down that time is Jeremy Grigoli. He's heads it out of bounds now. East Brunswick with the throw in, and East Brunswick certainly in no hurry as the clock is in their favor. They'll send the ball in on the near side. East Brunswick now with some running room. Carrying for East Brunswick, Rob Longo. Longo will send to the center of the field looking for Goriello. Goriello unable to control now. East Brunswick in control at about the 18-yard line. Right-footed shot right into a Middletown South player. Unable to get anything off, chased into the corner, dropping back out to the 18-yard line. East Brunswick trying to get a good shot off, but Middletown South will clear it out. That time for Middletown South, Scott Millivoy will clear it out. East Brunswick wasting no time. They'll send a long service back into the box. East Brunswick's Goriello over there for it. He's unable to control now. East Brunswick strings together 3 short passes. Long cross into the center of the box. Stepping up, Middletown South will clear it out. Middletown South trying to turn the ball upfield. Breaking it up, East Brunswick's Jared Forma. Forma will send it upfield. No one there to challenge. Peter Canalis will come off his line and he'll pick it up. Now wasting any time, quick punt over the midfield line. East Brunswick waiting for it off the head of Weil. Now Weil will chase it out of bounds.
One thing we see as a difference between Canalis and Mendez, the Middletown South goalkeepers, is that Mendez had a much better punt. And in this type of situation where his team is desperate for a goal, they could really use his punting ability late in the ballgame, because Canalis is not the punter that Mendez is. And
East Brunswick has had the advantage on the 50-50 balls in the center third of the field. East Brunswick's midfielders coming down with a good number of them. East Brunswick now with a scoring opportunity. Canalis diving right in. A wide open shot for East Brunswick. They're unable to get it down on goal as that ball go through the uprights. Goal kick again for Middletown South. And as I was saying, East Brunswick has been winning a number of the 50-50 balls in the middle of the field, something that Middletown South needs to start winning now if they're going to turn the ball up and get a scoring opportunity together. East Brunswick's Jeremy Grigoli will send it up, but East Brunswick is waiting for it, and he'll clear it out quickly. That ball will roll over the touchline on the near side, about 40 yards off the end line. We're at the 3-minute mark, which is where the clock stops, and now the official time is kept on the field. At the 3-minute mark, East Brunswick now has the 2-1 advantage. East Brunswick with a restart opportunity, near side Rob Longo to take it. East Brunswick not in any hurry. The referee signaling Longo to play. Longo will serve it into the box, not finding any East Brunswick players, headed out by Middletown South. Middletown South will now control, sending it upfield. That time, it's Mike Fry. Fry with the throw-in. Middletown South now playing against the clock. We have about 2 minutes remaining in the contest. East Brunswick with the 2-1 advantage. Middletown South strings together 3 short passes, unable to make any headway on it as East Brunswick quickly turns it around. Fry there, right-footed pass, far side switching fields. Middletown South turns up the attack as they try to make one final stab at the goal.
They need a shot here.
East Brunswick knocking it out of bounds, and some dead ball time as Middletown South will come over to throw it in.
Got about a minute and a half left.
Another attempted cross for Middletown South by Jeremy Grigoli. That ball bounced off of East Brunswick, so it'll be out of bounds. Grigoli will have to chase that one all the way across the track, and precious time is being wasted as East Brunswick has the 2-1 advantage.
This could be the last big opportunity for Middletown South to tie up the game. This could be their final play.
With the throw in the corner, Scott Millivoy, he'll send it into the center of the box, right across a couple of Middletown South players, no one with the foot on the ball. Ball roll out of bounds, off an East Brunswick player, Middletown South with another throw-in on the near side, this time about 40 yards off. No ball boy there. The referee stopping the clock as there's some problems getting a ball to the Middletown South player to throw it in. Joe DeGennaro will put it into play. Middletown South really trying to get a shot off on goal. East Brunswick trying their best to hold on, and
even the keeper, Canales, is all the way up in East Brunswick territory. He's all the way up past the midfield mark.
Middletown South bringing up all 11 players into the offensive half of the field. Throw in Fry on the near sideline, under a minute to play. East Brunswick will clear it out, and now Canales will have to drop back if an East Brunswick player can get a shot off, but they're unable to do so. It'll go out of bounds. Fry will take another throw in. Fry drops it. It'll be an East Brunswick throw in there in no hurry to throw it in. Conderso will pass it off this time to Mitch Brown. Brown takes his time and he'll toss it in. Canales will come off his line and pick it up. Can't waste any time. He'll quickly punt that ball. It'll fall just short of the midfield line. East Brunswick will hit it out of bounds, and East Brunswick is sensing a victory as all the players on the bench are off the bench right now and standing on the sideline cheering the team on, and there's the final whistle. East Brunswick has captured the boys' Group 4 sectional semifinals, and now they'll advance on to the sectional finals. They picked up the 2-1 win over Middletown South. Quick rundown on the goals. East Brunswick getting both their goals in the first half. Dan Goriello with the first goal at the 23-28 mark, and then Jared Forma picked up the second and game-winning goal for East Brunswick at the 10:54 mark. In the second half, with 28-16 remaining in the game, East Brunswick called for a handball. Rob Weil took the penalty kick and put that ball past Ben Kartzman, a 2-1 advantage, and that's where it ended. Middletown South picked up 1 yellow card during the game, Mike Fry, and East Brunswick picked up 2, E.J. Zafarowski and Jared Forma. So now East Brunswick moves on to the state sectional finals.
And Scott, they won't be able to play in the Central Jersey State Championship game the way they played today and expect to win. They did not play well in the second half, but they played well enough to win, and that's a good sign for a team like East Brunswick. When you play poorly and still win, that's a good sign, and Dan Haston has to be encouraged by that. But that's probably the only thing he's encouraged about. His team panicked in the second half, and they played as if they were trying to avoid the win rather than trying to avoid the loss rather than going after the win. So they can celebrate and enjoy this one a little bit, but they need to do some work if they want to win the Central Jersey Group 4 title.
So that'll about do it here for us. East Brunswick with the 2-1 win. Couple of thanks to Dave Ambrosi and Pete Kenemass, our technical crew, and our color analyst, Gordy Deal. I'm Scott White saying thanks for being with us.